So let's begin with either the ball or the cushion, whichever you've got. Just for the inner thigh, we're going to do the bridge squeeze. So you're going to be on your backs, okay, ball between the knees, and hands at your sides for now. So we're just doing a little warm-up. And then for the sake of, okay, so remember you're going to squeeze your butt, keep your big toes down on the floor. That's what you've got to push off. And as you come to the top, in fact, we're just going to do a bridge. So just a note for Jean to remind you, I know you're going to watch this later, but to remind you that you are going to squeeze the butt, but you're not going to tilt the pelvis, which is what you're going to want to do. But you're not going to do it, so you're not going to do a roll up like so. You're going to just squeeze the butt independently of the spine position and then push off the big toes and the heels to get that butt up to the ceiling. So you're going to have to start practicing your non-tucked under pelvis position. I know you know about it, so that's cool. Actually, it's a good reminder to all of you just to, and I keep seeing every now and then in my classes face-to-face, I see someone kind of doing that little tuck under, the little curl, almost imprinting the spine and then taking the, curling the pubic bone towards the sternum. And you really want to eliminate that. You want to stay in neutral spine, push off the big toes, but take the whole unit up. So the upper body goes up as one unit. Okay, and that spine doesn't change position. It's quite hard sometimes to get that right if you're used to doing it with a curl. I'm going to do, I think, 2 more of these. So the idea there was just to literally hold very gently the ball. Okay, now we're going to tricep push-ups, I'm afraid, before we get onto the wine. Note my weights. Still got that wine from the wine club. Okay, so we're going to do tricep push-ups, which is your narrow push-up. So that's your one where your hands are directly, let me do it to the front. Your hands are directly underneath the shoulders. So just do a warm-up set. You can take the knees to hip distance apart if you like, but it's just that. So those elbows are going straight back to the waist, past the waist. Okay, so just give yourselves a warm-up set, literally about maybe 4 or 5 if you struggle with the upper body weight. You can go onto the hands if you're really strong. Oh, onto the hands, onto the feet. I'd like to see you do this without the hands. Okay, and then when you're done with that, just as a warm-up, let's have you around for your first proper set of the inner thigh. So this time we're going to be doing just the squeeze of the inner thigh. So you're going to stay in your bridge. So now remember, the further away the feet are, the more you're going to activate the hamstrings. So if you think you're going to go into cramp, don't take them too far away, but take them far enough that you actually get some hamstring work in, because that's a double whammy, which is always a good thing. Okay, so you're going to squeeze the butt. Imagine you've just got a note between a piece of paper between the butt cheeks. You're just squeezing them, and then you're pushing off the big toe. Okay, let's take the arms up. So I think pretty much all of you can do this position. If you want to do a half, you can put the elbows down. And then we're going to squeeze that ball. So the feet are hip distance apart, and release the ball. We're staying in the bridge. Squeeze, hold, release, and squeeze. Keep pushing off the big toes. So you almost want to roll to the insides of the toes, the insides of the feet, and that immediately nails the hamstrings. Oh, and the inner thighs. And again, squeeze. So you're just holding for about 4 seconds, 5 seconds, and releasing. And again, so just keep doing that. Oh, I'm going to try for about 10. I think we're on about 7. Well, I'm on about 7. Oh, those hamstrings. And again. I'm going to do 2 more. Keep pushing off the inside, so roll to the inside of the foot, and you will seriously feel those inner thighs. Oh, and hamstrings working. Oh, that one's a killer. It's not even a big movement, is it? It just nails them. Okay, so back to your tricep push-up. So this time you're doing a proper full set. So George, that would be on your feet. Bonnie, on your feet. Okay. Which requires you to get off your ass, by the way. There's no doing this in any other position. Okay, so remember those hands go right next to the sides. So you're going to brush past the waist and push. So do what you can with the full position. And then if you need to, oh, the shoulder's still hassling me. So do whatever you can, but make sure you stay in your plank position. Okay, the butt is squeezed. You're trying to get those elbows to brush past the waist. Now, the cue that I do want to give you, because I think it's an important one, is a lot of my clients get very blocked up. Okay, rest when you need to. I'm going to show you from the back. They get very blocked up in the scapula. So what happens is they come down, but then they squeeze their shoulder blades together and then they bunch up in the neck. Now, that's a problem. So what I suggest, and it's a weird thing, but if you visualize pushing off the palm of the hand, it frees up the back completely. So if the work is being driven from here, so in other words, that's where all the work is happening, it takes all the work out of here. So try it on your next set and make sure that as you come down, these guys are preparing to work. Because you've got to find a way to take the restriction out of your back. And the other thing is a lot of people drop their heads, their necks down. And that causes massive kind of stress across all the attachments to the neck and the spine. So you have to find a way to make this your work point. Okay, and that should help. I've had a couple of clients say, gosh, that cue just kind of really puts them in the right place. So give it a try. Let's go back to our bridge. Okay, so ball between the knees. See if you can take it a little bit further if you didn't feel the hamstrings too much. Not that we're doing hamstrings today, but they will always bring more inner thigh in. So you might as well nail them. Okay, hands up if you can manage it, or onto the elbows. Big toes down, squeeze, and come up. Okay. So make sure the belly buttons pull gently to the spine as well. Keep pushing off the inside of the foot. So you're almost rolling inwards. You're not quite pronating, but you are keeping quite a lot of pressure on the inside of the foot. And you'll feel that straight away into the inner thigh. Oh, I'm doing the wrong one. Actually, whichever version you're doing, just carry on doing it. We'll do a set of these. Oh, I can't believe it. Mind you, I'm feeling my inner thighs are screaming. Oh. So you can equally be doing the squeeze hold bridge. So the one, basically the one is a static contraction in the hamstrings, but a dynamic action in the inner thigh. The other one is a static contraction in the inner thigh and a dynamic action in the hamstrings. I'm going to do one more. Either way, they nailed the parts we want to nail, so feel free to do whichever version. All right, back to those tricep push-ups. Do what you can, and remember the pressure comes off the heels of the hands. Okay, so take yourself into your bridge. I'm doing a half one for sure straight away. Make sure the elbows go straight past your waist and then push back up again. So even if you only go halfway down, that's fine, but make sure the pressure point is the heel of the hand so that you let the back go completely. There's nothing happening there. It's completely and utterly relaxed. I'm going to do one more after this. Relax that back, relax the neck, make sure the head is in line with the spine. Oh. Okay, and then when you're finished, you can come around again. Okay. All right. So. Yeah. So I'm sure a lot of you are feeling the same way. Bonnie's saying that he's almost cramping in the hamstrings. They seem to be such a quite sensitive muscle group, especially in this position, of course, because they're pushed into their extreme contraction state. But all right, so let's go back to our third set. We've got the toes down. Make sure you're as far away as you can manage without going into cramp. Okay, so big toes are down. Push off the insides of the feet. You're squeezing that ball, and then let's just stay up this time. So we're going to squeeze, hold, and release, and squeeze. Keep pushing off the insides of the feet and release. Again. Keep that bridge where it is. Release and squeeze. Keep the belly button pulled to the spine. Release. Squeeze. Keep pushing off the inside of the foot. Release. Again, squeeze. If the back is feeling it, it's because the belly button's not pulled sufficiently tight. Release and squeeze. Or the butt is not squeezed and activated. Release. Squeeze. I've got 2 more after this. Release. Squeeze. Release. 1 more. Squeeze. Come down. Okay, back to your tricep push-up, huh? It's our 3rd true set. So, onto you go, onto your knees. And George, you know that obviously as you get stronger in this, and maybe you're even there already, you're going to be feet up on something. So you could use some books initially, make a little bit of a pile, and then eventually get to the height of a chair. Okay. And or, of course, the other version, which is bloody hard to do, is feet on a Swiss ball. You know, one of those enormous balls. It's got a very uneven base. Linda, I wouldn't suggest that yet. I know you've got a big ball. Make sure those elbows are sliding past. Make sure the belly button's pulled to the spine. Squeeze your butt. And don't hang the head. Push up the palms of the hands. I'm going to do 1 more. And relax. How are we doing time-wise? Okay, we've got time to do, actually, the standing one is a slower process because it's 2 legs. So let's have you up with the ball or the cushion. Remember, with a cushion, you're going to hold it. So if you've got a ball, it's easy. Okay, and I suggest if you can that you try and get hold of a ball at some point. They just really are very easy to use. But if it's a cushion, you're going to fold it or make it a pillow so that you've got enough space next to just the base of the quadricep against the wall. So I've got room here. My shoulders aren't against the wall. Okay. If I've got the cushion, I'm holding the point of the cushion. I've got my inside leg coming up. And then all I'm going to do is slide the cushion backwards slightly and down. And then I'm coming back up. So if I've got the ball or the cushion, I'm pushing this knee against it, but I'm not leaning. Okay, it's not a body lean. It's just a knee push. Okay. So if you're working with a ball, you're going to try and roll it backwards. You're going to stick your butt out. You're pushing against that ball. If you're working with a cushion, it's more likely to have a trajectory that goes more down than back. You're holding it so that you can pull it up and down as well. It just assists the movement, because it's much harder with a cushion. Okay, because you're pushing against the cushion or the ball with this bent knee, what will happen is automatically that bottom one will push outwards as well, because it's going to counter that push, and that's where you'll feel it. So it's this leg that's the working leg, the one that's on the floor. But remember, we're trying to hinge the hips. The more you hinge in the hip, the more you stick your butt out, the more you're going to work the glutes, and this is a glute exercise. So don't just think about going down and up, think about going back and forward. But keep your spine in neutral. So Jean again, and who else? Kari, you got to watch that you don't drop the chest. Jean, you got to watch that you don't tuck the tail under in this position and that you stick the butt out. Who else can I think of? I think everyone else is okay here. And then when you finish that side, we'll go into the other. Okay, so set yourself up, make sure that ball is at the base of the quadricep. You're freestanding, so there's no lean against the wall. You're going to bring the inside leg up. This foot should be flat, by the way, and the big toe must always be down. Okay, and then you're going to push against that ball or the cushion. You're going to slide it down and back as much as you can. Hold on to the cushion if that's what you're working with. I need to move forward. Keep thinking about pushing that knee into the cushion. Stick your butt out. Stay in neutral spine. So look up. For those who have a habit of dropping the chest, look up. And for those who have a habit of tucking the tail under, look up. Because the more the chest is up, the more likely you are to stick your butt out the back and not bring it forward. Remember, this is a one-legged squat. So the weight should be on your heel. Stick your butt out and get your weight, drop your weight back onto the heel. That's what a squat does. Well, that's what you should do in a squat. And just make sure you're doing the same number on each side. So you should start with your weaker side. And whatever number you can manage on the weak side, you do on the strong side. I have no idea how many I've done. I'm going to do 2 more. Too much talking. Oh. Okay. All right. So I pop that cushion or ball down, and then you can grab your weights. In my case, my wine. Okay, we've done this before, the modified Arnold press. So we're going to have feet hip distance apart, slightly soft knee but not bent. Okay, it's just not jammed straight. Now remember, on this exercise in particular, you are going to end up wanting to lean backwards because it makes the exercise easier. So let's just sort our posture out first. Get your weight back onto the heels, then drop your toes down. Leave your backside where it is and bring your chest forward. So I want your shoulders just in front of your hips. Okay, so stay in that position. Let's take the weights to just in front of, we've got the elbows dropped just below nipple height, but the elbows are shoulder distance apart, and so are the hands. Okay, I'm actually going to hold my weight like so. So I've got it parallel to the floor. All right. Now I'm going to take those elbows up to nipple height, or to shoulder height in fact. I'm going to open out to a 45-degree angle, all right? Come forward because you might have tipped back. Now I'm coming down to nipple height and then back in to shoulder width apart. So never closer. You don't need to be closer, just to shoulder width. Now take it up again. Shoulder height, neck is nice and relaxed. Take it out 45 degrees. You should start to feel the shoulders already. Come down to nipple height. And then bring it in. Watch how you're holding your weights. Not like this, that's easier. Like this, parallel to the floor. Take them up to shoulder height. Take them out to 45 degrees. Bring them down to nipple height and back in. Now look at me. Shoulder height, not out here. Just to 45 degrees. So we're trying to control the shoulder blade and movement in the shoulder joint. So we're going to keep it really tight and controlled. My shoulders are burning. I hope yours are too. Check your position. Make sure you're in front of your pelvis. No doubt you will have moved back. Sorry, I'm watching the screen and not you guys. Up. Oh, I'm dying. I've got one more. One more in me. Ah. Okay, that one, it should be really easy to nail yourself in that one, because those muscles, especially because we're working front, these guys don't often work in that position when we're elbow width apart. They're very used to kind of bringing in side deltoid, so we tend to kind of work in a more isolated way to the sides. So that's quite a nice one for front deltoid. And you should be completely relaxed in the shoulders. There should be nothing happening in the neck and the shoulders. Well, say shoulders. I meant upper trapezius actually. There's lots going on in the shoulder. All right, we're back to against the wall. So we've got the cushion or ball against the wall at the base of the quadricep. I've got space here. I'm going to take my inside leg up. Okay, I'm pushing with my knee against the ball. I'm not leaning against the wall. And then I'm going backwards. So if you do have a ball, roll it backwards and stick that butt out. It's very pretty, Bonnie. Oh. So feel that push against the ball, and then, of course, at the same time, you should be feeling the other leg working, and that is your working leg. So think about it as you would with a squat. You got your weight back into the heel. You're sticking your butt out. Remember, when we do squats, we're looking at as a position that looks like a Z. So the chest and the shins are in line with one another. The knee is horizontal, and the hip to knee is horizontal. That's kind of the position you're trying to get here. So don't just think about going down and up. Think about going backwards and then up. Keep pushing against the ball. The more you push against the ball, the more you're going to work the glute. The stronger you're going to get in the hips, the more stable your hips, the less likely you are to run into trouble in the lower back or anywhere else for that matter, because you're now stabilizing the hip. I'm going to do one more. As you can keep the hip set in position, all sorts of amazing things will happen in terms of trunk strength. All right, so base of the quadricep, we're on the other side. Make sure you're upright. You're not leaning against the wall. You're just leaning against the ball with the knee. All right. Stick that butt out. Make sure the big toe is down. Stick it out. Think about it as you would a squat. So the chest is up, the tail is out, you're staying in neutral spine. So think about that position in the hips and the butt. Keep pushing against the ball. The more you do that, the more you'll feel it in the working leg. Keep the toes down, especially the big toe. Try and create pressure off that big toe, especially as you push away from the floor. In this position now, push the floor away as you come up. It's a useful visualization, that, because it just adds extra work to the exercise. I'm going to do one more. And I say this for Jean's sake. I never count properly, so you don't ever watch what I'm doing. Just count your own reps, because I'm so bad at it. It's because I'm talking all the time. All right, grab those weights again. Hip distance apart, soften the knee. Take your weight back onto your heels. Drop your toes down, leave your butt where it is, and then take your chest forward. Right, so the shoulders are in front of your hips. We're down at nipple height. We're now going to push up to shoulder height, then to 45 degrees. Relax the neck completely. Come down to nipple height. It's a very, very small square, very small. Up to shoulder height. Take it out. Drop and in. Just watch how you hold your weights. So don't break the wrist line. The wrists are dead straight. Take it out. Remember, it's 45 degrees, not wider. And also don't try and come closer than shoulder width apart. And as you've got almost two opposite movements happening here from this position. Bring the shoulder blades down the back as you take the elbows up, and that makes it so much harder. Okay, so that's another visualization you can add in that just adds to the workload. Push the elbows up as you slide the shoulder blades down. Open and down. And again. Push. Open. Push. Keep the weight forward, so just check your position again. Make sure your shoulders are in front of the pelvis. Whew, I'm going to try for one or two more. I think one more. Take your weight forward. Oh, gosh, that one really never fails to kill. All right, so let's grab the ball again. Are we doing time-wise? We've got about 8 minutes, 7, 8 minutes. So let's pop it in. Okay, it's just at the base of the quadricep. Make sure you're upright. Take the inside leg up. Push the knee against the ball. That's the only part that gets pushed against the ball. And then off you go. So pushing out as you go down. Keep the belly button pulled gently to the spine. So there's always some little connection here that's going to keep your lower back in a good position too. Make sure you stick the butt out. So think about going backwards and then back up again. Keep your weight on your big toe. Okay. And to be fair, you should be able to, if I came in and I swiped that cushion away or the ball away, you shouldn't fall over. You should be dead upright. It's just the knee pushing against the ball. There shouldn't be a lean against the wall. Keep that chest up, so look ahead of you. I'm going to do one more after this. Keep pushing outwards. Oh, okay, other side. Oh. Oh, that leg's talking to me. Okay, base of the quadricep. Okay, inside knee up. Maybe just make sure that you have, I think I've said before, probably a pillow is quite a good object to use here. I mean, if you've got a thick cushion, obviously that works well. Some cushions are a little bit soft for this exercise, but a pillow works quite nicely. You could, even if it's a soft enough pillow, you can roll it 3 ways and then shove it between the knee and the wall. So, belly button, pull gently. Keep the big toe down of the working leg. Stick your butt out. Make sure you're feeling like the weight is on the heel. And then push that floor away as you come up. Oh, I'm going to do 2 more. Again, I'm not sure exactly how many I've done. Okay. And then you're going to grab your weights again for your 3rd set. Ooh. All right. So, set yourself up, hip distance apart, soft knees but not bent. Take your weight back into your heels, drop your toes down, leave your hips and butt where they are, and then bring your chest forward. Make sure that the wrists are straight, okay? So we're taking up to shoulder height. We're still shoulder width apart. Taking out to 45 degrees, drop down to nipple height again, very small, and then back in. And push. Out. Stay forward. Keep the belly button pulled gently to the spine, so you've always got some activity going on there, but it's gentle. It's something subtle. It's not an aggressive movement. Squeeze your butt cheeks, because that will also help you to remember that your butt is out behind you. Okay, so check your position of your shoulders again. I can feel it happen to me as well. There's just that little subtle leaning back as you get tired. It's a very natural thing to do. You've got to fight it. Now remember, slide the shoulder blades down as you raise the elbows. Push, push, push. I'm going to try for 2 more. Keep that chest forward. Check it again. Check it at the end of every one, especially as you get tired. 1 more. Oh my goodness. Okay, pop those down. And I think we have time. Yes, we do. 1 more set. And these ones are really important because, of course, this is where your primary stability of the hip comes in. Okay, so, and every time we do hamstrings, we engage inner thigh as well. So we can afford to do a little bit more outer thigh. All right, so we're going to take the inside leg off. Get your weight back into the heel as you come down. But make sure the big toe stays down. Make sure you're not leaning with the body against the wall. So if I took the cushion away, you wouldn't fall over. And then try and avoid try and control the wiggle on this knee. If you look down, that kneecap should fall over the 2nd toe. And if you see your knee wiggling, it tells you that there's instability in the hip. So what you're going to try and do is control that lateral wiggle. So you're going to slow the movement right down and keep it smooth. Okay, don't forget you've got to pull the belly button gently to the spine. You're going to stick those hips, well, you're going to hinge at the hip, stick the butt out, get your weight onto your heels. It's a squat you're doing. Keep your chest up. Once you've looked at that knee, bring your chest back up, or bring your eye line up. Now, Bonnie, you're leaning, you've got too much weight against the cushion. I can see that. You'll fall over if I pull that cushion out.
That's the last one I had.
Oh. Okay, I'm going to try for, I think, 1 or 2 more. Get that weight back. The more you get the weight back, the more you're asking the butt to work, the more you're going to increase the strength of the hip stabilizers. Remember, we've got half an hour, so you want to push it as much as you can in that half hour. We can be really, really efficient by doing multiple things at the same time. So bring that leg up, push the toe down, and let's get going. Get that butt out. I've been dreaming about doing the Turkish get-up, but I can't see how to do it online. I think it's just going to be too complicated. So if I think about when I do it in class with people, I do it with my back to them facing the mirror, but that's very rude to do on a video. Otherwise I think it's going to be almost impossible to mirror. Well, it's not impossible, it's just very complicated. And for those who know the Turkish get-up, they'd be very happy to know that they're not necessarily going to do the Turkish get-up, but it is a dream. Oh. I'm going to do 2 more. Keep pushing. Oh, okay, and relax. Oh damn, it's a minute past. I was going to suggest we do the bottles again, but hey. That's the end of class. So just relax the knees completely, soften them, hang yourself down. Okay, if you want to put the hands into the elbows and just relax here, drop the chin down, relax the back of the neck, move your head side to side. Take 2 deep breaths. Let it out. 1 more time. And out. And relax those hands down and come up. Thank you for joining me. What's today? Monday. That's your Monday workout.